15 years ago, when people talked about AI, they meant America. Google, OpenAI, Facebook, AI Research. These were the names that ruled the world. And China? Almost invisible. They studied, imitated, imported nearly everything from Silicon Valley. But today, everything has changed. DeepSeek R1, an AI model from China, trained on just $6 million, is now matching GPT-4. Huawei builds its own AI chips. Alibaba releases open-source models that outperform even GPT-3. And now, the world is getting nervous. Today, we'll trace China's journey to becoming an AI superpower. From the days of imitation to the moment it started leading the world. In the early 2000s, while the West was laying the foundation for modern AI, China was still learning. Learning from models, from architectures, from the textbooks of Stanford and MIT. A wave of Chinese PhDs studying abroad began returning home. They brought with them deep learning, NLP, computer vision, and one big ambition: to build a uniquely Chinese AI future. The first bricks were laid at Microsoft Research Asia in Beijing, known as the Harvard of Chinese AI. This lab trained the minds who would later lead Baidu AI, Tencent AI Lab, Huawei Cloud AI. But let's be honest, at this stage, China was not innovating, it was importing everything. From hardware like NVIDIA GPUs to open-source frameworks like TensorFlow and PyTorch. Internet giants like Baidu, Tencent, and Alibaba were simply following the trends coming out of Silicon Valley. This was a time when China was still the apprentice, and America was writing the rules. Before 2015, AI in China was just a niche playground, but by 2017, it became a national strategy. On July 20th of that year, China's State Council released a bold roadmap, the Next Generation Artificial Intelligence Development Plan. Its goal was crystal clear. By 2030, China would lead the world in AI. But this wasn't just a vision. It was a blueprint, with short, mid, and long-term objectives backed by real policies. The government pledged billions of dollars in R&D funding. AI startups received tax breaks and venture incentives. Chip development projects like Cambricon and Huawei Ascend got dedicated budgets. Total AI investment in China tripled within just 1 year of the 2017 plan. AI entered middle school curricula. Provinces were told to build AI pilot cities, and tech giants, Baidu, Alibaba, Tencent, were assigned national missions. A clear example, Baidu received massive funding to build Apollo AI, launching China into the elite group of countries testing autonomous vehicles at city scale. From this moment, AI was no longer a corporate playground. It became a strategic mandate, from Beijing to every local province. The result? Within just 2 years, China surpassed the US in both AI research papers and patents filed globally. Once the government lit the match, China's tech giants, Baidu, Alibaba, Tencent, rushed in to fuel the fire. Between 2018 and 2020, they pivoted sharply, from internet-first companies to AI-first enterprises. Baidu led the charge with Apollo AI, China's largest autonomous driving platform. By 2019, Baidu had over 2,000 AI engineers, one of the biggest AI R&D forces in Asia. Alibaba wasn't far behind. In 2019, it launched its first AI chip, Hongguang 800, capable of processing 78,000 images per second, far beyond traditional GPUs. That chip was quickly integrated into Alibaba Cloud, Aliyun, to accelerate product search and shopping recommendations. Tencent took a different route, focusing on healthcare, gaming, and finance. Its AI diagnostic tools were deployed in over 100 hospitals and supported hundreds of millions of users across the WeChat ecosystem. But it didn't stop there. All three giants invested in hundreds of AI startups, creating a closed-loop innovation ecosystem. Startups built models. Tech giants provided infrastructure and markets. By the end of 2020, AI in China had broken out of the lab and entered full-scale industrialization. In 2020, the United States launched sweeping tech sanctions against China. Companies like Huawei, SenseTime, and iFlyTech were blacklisted one by one. The A100 GPU, the lifeblood of AI training, was completely banned from export. The result? China's chip import costs doubled in just 1 year, shaking its entire AI ecosystem. But instead of backing down, China shifted into full self-reliance mode. Huawei accelerated its Ascend 910 chip, laying the foundation for domestic large model training. Cambricon launched new chips for edge AI and smart vehicles. Baidu released Kunlun, a homegrown AI chip for data centers. These weren't stopgap measures. By 2022, the share of domestically produced AI chips in China jumped from 8% to 27%, a remarkable leap in a sector under siege. At the same time, the government poured billions of dollars into building an entirely new supply chain, from chip design to manufacturing, packaging, and even replacing American-origin operating systems. And here's the surprise. The number of large AI models trained in China didn't shrink. It actually grew. China didn't just survive the sanctions. It found a new path, optimized, independent, and no longer waiting on the West. Between 2021 and 2023, China's AI entered a new phase, no longer just about hardware or foundations. This was the era of China's first large-scale AI models. In 2021, the Beijing Academy of Artificial Intelligence, BAAI, unveiled Wudao 2.0, a massive model with 1.75 trillion parameters, twice the size of OpenAI's GPT-3. Wudao shocked observers with its multimodal capabilities. It could generate images, write classical poetry, and code, right out of the box. That same year, Baidu released ERNIE 3.0, a Chinese language model focused on deep semantic understanding. Its standout feature? Knowledge-enhanced training. It didn't just predict words, it learned from real-world knowledge. By 2022 and 2023, the race accelerated. Tencent launched Hunyuan AI, Alibaba rolled out Tongyi Qianwen, and iFlyTech introduced SparkDesk. While these models still trailed GPT-4, they caught up to GPT 3.5 and even outperformed Western models in Chinese language tasks and local datasets. For the first time, the world began to realize China was no longer chasing. It was building its own AI models, tailored for its own language, ecosystem, and strategy. The year 2023 marked a new chapter in the global AI race. Open-source AI took center stage. No longer just a game for billion-dollar corporations with massive compute, AI began to be democratized, thanks to the power of open source. And China, once thought to be falling behind without GPT-4, quickly emerged as a global leader in this new paradigm. In June 2023, Alibaba launched Qwen 7B, a lightweight yet powerful model that swiftly outperformed big names like Llama 2 in benchmark tests. Soon after, Shanghai AI Lab released Intern LM, noted for its strong context retention, high-quality code generation, and smooth multi-turn interactions. But the real game changer? DeepSeek R1, a model trained with just $6 million, yet capable of rivaling GPT-4, Claude 3, and Gemini 2.5 on complex tasks. And here's the kicker. DeepSeek is fully open source, allowing other nations to retrain, fine-tune, and deploy it in their own way. Suddenly, countries across Southeast Asia, South America, and the Middle East began building their AI infrastructure on top of Chinese models because they're powerful, efficient, low-cost, and free from Western gatekeeping. China is no longer just creating AI, it's exporting intelligence. Not as a product, but as an open, shareable, and strategically deployed platform. As Chinese AI models like DeepSeek, Qwen, and InternLM began spreading globally, Washington took notice. In 2024, the U.S. launched its toughest-ever tech restrictions, a ban on exporting high-end AI chips, including via third parties, new limits on open-source model training software, tightened rules for American firms partnering with Chinese AI companies. It didn't stop at technology. U.S. lawmakers proposed legislation to ban DeepSeek AI from all government devices, labeling it a national security risk. Meanwhile, America's top labs fought to stay ahead. GPT-5 began to surface. Claude 4 Opus expanded its multi-step reasoning capabilities. Gemini became deeply integrated into Android platforms. But on the other side, China doubled down, quietly but rapidly. DeepSeek R2, Wudao 3.0, SparkDesk 2.0, all training in stealth, using domestic infrastructure and at surprisingly low cost. The global AI arena is no longer a two-player game. It's a three-way sprint between the US, China, and everyone else. But China holds a singular advantage that no one can replicate: organizational speed, national-scale deployment, and a state-backed, long-term strategy. The AI race isn't just about models anymore. It's about systems, sovereignty, and survival. AI in China isn't just stuck in research labs. It's already woven into everyday life, and it's now stepping onto the global stage. In Beijing, students are being taught by AI-powered tutors. In Shanghai, doctors consult AI systems before giving diagnoses. In Sichuan, farmers use drones and AI cameras to detect pests in real time. Within government offices, AI helps automate paperwork, analyze population data, and optimize budget allocation. AI is no longer just a tech project. It has become a national smart infrastructure. Leading the wave is Wudao, China's answer to ChatGPT, now deeply embedded in social media, education systems, and even live TV broadcasts. While many developing nations are locked out of GPT-4 due to high costs and restrictions, Chinese AI has emerged as the ideal alternative. Across Southeast Asia, Latin America, and the Middle East, models like DeepSeek, Qwen, and InternLM are being downloaded, retrained, and deployed at national scale. The UAE uses InternLM for its e-government initiatives. Brazil is piloting Qwen in education platforms. Vietnam, Malaysia, and Indonesia are beginning to fine-tune Chinese models for domestic AI development. But here's the twist. China isn't just exporting models. It's exporting the entire ecosystem. Domestic chips, Chinese cloud services, open-source AI platforms, full-stack deployment packages. If OpenAI is the Apple of AI, China is becoming the Android, open, affordable, flexible, and deeply disruptive to the Western order. 2 decades ago, the world called China a tech copycat, a country known for cloning Western software, recycling academic research, and scaling through cheap labor. But by 2025, that narrative has flipped. China is now building a new AI ecosystem. No dependence on NVIDIA GPUs, no reliance on OpenAI's API, no waiting for foreign model updates. They're training their own models, deploying their own systems, building their own future. They didn't clone ChatGPT, they created Wudao, deeply localized, integrated with education, law, and live TV. They didn't imitate Claude 4. They launched DeepSeek, cheaper, open, and able to run on smartphones. They're not chasing the US playbook. They chose open source plus cost efficiency to make AI a tool every nation can own and control. And now, from Southeast Asia to Africa, nations are asking, why pay for Western AI? When Chinese AI is powerful, open, and free from restrictions. China is no longer the follower. It's the trendsetter, shaping the global AI direction. And the question is no longer, can China catch up? It's now, who can catch up to China?